Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm here. I'm Bill. And, of course, I got Joneser with me. So we're going kind of got a little freeze going on here. I hope you guys can hear me well. Doing the best I can with what I got to work with. As you know, super chats are welcome so that I can get a new computer. That's what it's all going for. I've got a pinned link up there showing you how to send a tip on Streamlabs. Take a look at that if you want to do it that way. We got Bjorn Jorgensen with me. I've got Big Mike from Manic Plastic Toy Shops here as well. We got Radical Mom. We've got Bridazzle. We've got Jeff from All Music Fan 88. And we got the Toy Mama. Good to see everybody today. All right, so I guess I might as well just bring Joneser on in, and I'll do an intro for him because we always do.
What's up, everybody? It's Joneser, your favorite comic book guy. So let's do this!
Hello.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Bill?
I'm doing all right. I'm gonna make my camera go boom boom, so maybe it'll catch me up here.
Looks like it may have. I'm not sure. We do got extreme close up. Whoa!
Whoa! I'm dark.
In the dark. In the dark.
That's weird. All right, do it again.
So Mary smashed the light button. So there we go. No, that's
still all right. What's going on here? There we go.
Darkness, my old friend.
Yes, smash that like button. All right. Hey, everybody. So we got some news dropped today, I guess. Hey, so did you get a chance to see the news that I'm speaking of?
Actually, I got the news from the greatest superpowers news source of all time. You. I saw it in my Instagram, and it was you. I'm like, I can't wait to show this to Bill. Oh, wait, this is Bill.
Yeah. Yeah. When I wasn't planning on going live today. I was going to sit down and cut a video for tomorrow night to put in the music and fun. But you know what? When I saw that right before I got ready to leave work, I said, boom, I'm saving this pictures here. I'm going to post it for everybody to see. And then underneath that, I said, what? I'm going live. I've got to cover this.
All Music Fan 88 did not get the news. So he missed it. He's ready to have it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's pull us up. I've got a where'd I put it? All right.
While he's looking for that, we've got
there we go. Right there.
Super news.
I got the G.I. Joe classified news posted in that chat right there, and let everybody know while we go over this. All right. So, Superpowers Wave 8 case of 6 has been solicited. And in it, we have Booster Gold, Metamorpho, Guy Gardner, The Dark Knight Returns Batman. So we're going to get another Batman.
More Batman.
Oh boy. All right. Okay. More Batmans. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help.
Coming from the farthest reaches of the universe to challenge the worst villains on Earth are the most powerful heroes ever in the Battle of the Super Powers collection.
What's this? The Batman who laughs has taken over the Hall of Justice? Who can stop this evil menace?
It's Batman in the Batwing!
Don't worry, Batman. Batman and the Whirly Bat is coming.
What just happened?
Don't worry, here comes Batman and the Batmobile.
Oh,
Which Batman will save the day? You decide. Batman, and Batman Who Laughs come with everything you see here. Batmobile, Batwing, and Whirly Bat each sold separately. The Super Powers collection from McFarlane Toys.
Yeah. Super Powers collection from McFarlane Toys. I'm telling you, yeah, it never grows old to watch that Batman commercial. But every way it's got a Batman.
Batman, and the Batman who laughs.
Yeah. But the same could be said for Superman, I suppose.
Yeah, they've had a lot of him too, and 2 Flashes and a couple Robins. So he's doing the Mattel thing. He's making use of the repaints and the molds, and which I suppose any healthy toy line has to do that if they're going to have any growth. The repaints make the money for the new figures.
Smart thing to do. Now, here's what I found interesting: the last 2 figures. First of all, Black Man, a black suit variant. This is to make up for the fact that nobody could get their hands on Black Manta to begin with. Like Grindhead Jim, for instance, he was going to sit there and buy the figure from the movie and just let it stand in for the Superpowers Black Manta. Hey, Radical Toys, what's going on? Picked up X-Men 97 way too. Good job, man.
I got mine coming too.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I'm hoping that the scalpers out there on eBay are going to sit on those Black Mantas and lose all kind of money, because why would you want to buy that when you can get this? Unless you're somebody, you just got to have it in those colors. I told Joner, just repaint it if you got to have it in those colors. And what'd you say, Joneser?
I think I'll like the black one better. He's Black Manta, so he's going to be black.
Yeah, exactly. And last but not least, we talked about this the last time we talked about what may be coming out in the future of Superpowers. I said, why don't he just repaint Superman into a Fleischer variant? I'll buy it. Speaking of which, guess what I found today, Joneser?
What did you found today?
Oh, you can't guess? I'm going to have to show it.
I'll take a stab.
Go ahead.
You found Naked Stratos.
No, it's a video. It's a video that I found here online, and it's related to what we just talked about just now. That would be this Fleischer variant Superman. This is probably the best I've seen, and I don't know if somebody redid it or what they did, but it is a 4K version. But I'm not showing 4K, of course. This is my HD here, but this is probably the clearest and best I've ever seen this. Check this out, Joneser.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
What do you think?
That's my favorite version of a Superman cartoon. It's the one I keep going back to. I loved seeing it all cleaned up like that, because I have just like everybody else, I have the grainy copies from back in the day.
Yeah, and what's interesting about them is they're in the public domain.
We can play these on our show.
The Fleischer cartoons are in the public domain, the Superman ones anyway, because that's why you see them on those cheap. We used to get those cheap videotapes that had like a bunch of black and white and crappy cartoons on it. They would always have a couple of these on it.
What I'm hearing is we can play this on our show.
I just did. If they get me, they get me. If they don't, they don't. If they get me, I need people to help me out a little bit. I know what I'm saying.
He gets by with a little help from his friends.
That's what I do's. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's generally 6 figures in a case like this. So we knew Booster Gold was coming because we got that tease on the bug box of Booster sitting inside the co-pilot chair. Jones, you had a question about the second figure. What was that? Remember?
Metamorpho?
Yeah, you were like, why Metamorpho?
Well, I was a little surprised that Metamorpho was one of the ones chosen because outside of hardcore DC fans, I think the average Joes don't know who that is.
And you're not wrong, I don't think. He has been featured on a few cartoon shows, the modern cartoons, as a matter of fact. I think he showed up in Brave and the Bold, if I'm not mistaken.
I know he showed up in the Brave and the Bold. He also showed up on the Justice League Cartoon Network one years ago. But I mean, outside of that, I don't think he's been very heavily featured.
But I'll tell you what he is featured in. Those guys that are making custom Super Powers figures, and those guys that are 3D printing that stuff and painting them and all that crap and selling them, they've been selling the shit out of Metamorpho. And I have a feeling, I've never seen Booster Gold and Metamorpho, never watched anything past Super Friends. Well, that's okay, man. It ain't your bag, but for those of us that it is, it's exciting. But anyway, I know McFarlane hangs out over there, or an avatar of his does anyway. It hangs out over there and collects intel. You know what I mean?
I do. And you know what? We have to tip our hat to this guy because he's crazy like a fox, but he's sly like one too. He's also a fan at heart. Yeah. He's one of the few that hasn't lost that. He's still a fan.
I agree with you on that. Now he does know how to make money too. That's why you get all the Batmans. Right. And the Superman Fleischer variant I found very interesting for the simple fact that we discussed this right here on our show not 2 weeks ago.
It's true.
And I think it was my big fat mouth that said it. It'd be an easy repaint to do of the Superman book. Why don't he just do a Fleischer Superman from the old Fleischer cartoons? I don't think he heard me say that, but I'm just saying it. I did say it.
You're probably not the only person who said it out loud, but
definitely.
It's also kind of a no-brainer because I do think for most of us, if you close your eyes and think Superman cartoon, that's the first one that's going to pop in most people's heads.
It's the first and best. It just is. I mean, we've got the 60s cartoon show that Filmation did. It was all right. I give or take. The Super Friends, classic Superman and that. I mean, you can't beat that. Now, I'm going to have to do a video about this. In the late 1980s, around Superman's, what was it, 75th anniversary, they did a special Saturday morning cartoon of Superman that nobody remembers. Do you remember that?
I should, because this was 89. I'd have been the demographic, to be honest with you. I'd have been 8 or 9 years old.
I started to download that, but I didn't have time today for the short show prep time that I had. Jones can tell you I was scrambling my butt off prepping this show as soon as I got home from work. So,
I will say the Superman cartoon that I grew up with, besides the Fleischer Supermans, was the '90s one. With I think just Tim Daly did the voice of Superman, and that one
lasted. That one probably lasted longer than any that there ever was.
3 seasons. There's 3 seasons. I want to say there's at least 30 plus episodes. And it was very well done. It was very good.
Yeah, it basically took off from the Batman animated series, and it took them a minute to figure out how they were going to do that, and they even considered doing it as a Fleischer version, but they went beyond that and knocked it out of the park, in my opinion, which led into Justice League, and which led into Justice League Unlimited. Right, and that was like the golden age of the Timmyverse cartoons, I think. But yeah, there was a Superman Saturday morning cartoon show. I don't think there were very many episodes of it made. It was the one that they had. I'll hit myself in the head. Lex Luthor in it as the bad guy. It was the one that Toy Biz based the Superman toys in their collection. There he is, hits himself in the head every time. As a matter of fact, before I changed the Luthor head on my figure, I could actually hear the click of his hand hitting his head.
There was another Superman show when I was a kid that I loved, but watching them back is kind of painful, and they're kind of corny or kind of cheesy, but I enjoyed them, and that was the Superboy live action TV show.
It wasn't corny. It wasn't corny to me when it came out, and I was grown when it came out. I was 19, 20, 21. I can't remember. I might have been 22 or 23 years old when those came out. Those cartoons weren't corny back then. That's what television was like, folks.
Well, that was live action. That wasn't a cartoon.
That's right. It was live action, and I have seen them. That Stacey Hayduak, however you pronounce her name in it, John Haymes Newton, and then they replaced him with Christopher Gerard after they fired John Haymes Newton. And I preferred John Haymes Newton's looks, but I preferred Christopher Gerard's acting. Does that make any sense?
No, it does to me.
Well, the thing about that television show was that's what television was like. I mean, it ranks right up there with Hercules, The Legendary Journey, Xena, Warrior Princess. You watch that shit today, and it's just as corny as all get out. Tarzan, The Legendary Adventures, same thing. I mean, it was television, and television was not meant to be cinematic back in those days. It was
right. Well, I was a big fan of the Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
And those were, kind of, they didn't age well, but, if you grew up on them, they still have their own charm. Or even the Dean Cain, Terry Hatcher, the New Adventures of Superman TV show.
That's a little campy too, but it was, at the time, they actually were farming the comic books that John Byrne and crew were doing at the time for their storylines and their depiction of the character. And they pretty much hit it pretty good, I thought. The only thing, though, about that particular series, that's what killed the Superboy series.
Yeah.
You couldn't have Superboy on at the same time as that.
Right. Well, and quite honestly, I think that show was better in a lot of ways. But I mean, each one had their points. The one thing I did like about the Superboy show was the scenes with Bizarro. If I'm right, I think that's the first time Bizarro, and only time maybe, he's ever been done in live action.
I think you're right. They may have done something similar to that on Lois and Clark. I can't remember. I know that in my opinion, the evil Superman fighting good Superman in Superman 3 was Bizarro.
Sure, or their version of it. I in that one though, it's like it walked out of Clark Kent and then walked back in him.
Yeah,
so
that's
maybe
true.
It was the dark side.
Now, I have heard people say that Superman 4, that was an abysmal movie, and
I like it.
part of the reason was because of Canon Group. But the other thing was they
pictures of the scenes that weren't in the movie.
did I just says I disconnected and reconnected. Am I still here?
I sees you.
Okay. I don't know what
I sees you in the feed to my left, but that's a couple minutes behind. That's in the past.
Says Gojitron says it looks like another decent way, but I don't think the current Superman sculpt will work as a Fleischer. I think they might do a new head sculpt. I'm hoping they'll do a new head sculpt. I know that they can do they can vary the body a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's right on the head sculpt, but I think everything else should
thanks, guys.
work.
I buffered for a minute. Yeah, I froze for a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I got a notice from my Windows that OBS disconnected and reconnected. Usually when that happens, the stream stops, but luckily that didn't happen. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube goddess. All right. Anyway, here we go. So I think that book can probably be tweaked to make it be a Fleischer. I wish that they would do a new Superman book. Could they? They did a new Batman book. What do you think, Joneser?
I found it a little weird in original wave, and I'm looking at it right now because they're in front of me. But in the original wave, if you compare the Superman book and the Batman book, Batman's bigger. He's buffer. He's got a wider chest, better muscles. And the Superman one seems a little more lean and cut. I almost feel they should have swapped them.
Yeah.
That Superman should have been the bulkier one. But I guess that just depends on your sensibilities and which one you think is
Booster better come with skeets. I agree, Goji, but you know what? I wouldn't hold my breath, brother.
Skeets would have been epic.
You know, Booster has to have skeets. And if you don't make a skeets, we're going to have to make one for ourselves, right, Goji?
Right. That's one thing I'm looking for too is the Blue Beetle base or car or what have you. That's the only thing I couldn't get. It sold out on Big Bad, but I've not had any problem tracking down any of the vehicles for the Super Powers wave. The figures are another story, the certain ones, but the vehicles have been at my Walmart 100%.
Say what you will about Todd McFarlane's toy store and his shipping costs. You can't go wrong. As soon as this shit gets released now, Goji, tell me how long it's going to be before this shit goes up on there so we can get over there and order this stuff before it sells out, right? If you go over there and order from him, when he puts it up, you'll get your stuff. And and there is a discount code. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. TV10 or some shit like that will get you 10% off. That's your shipping right there. So far, the lanterns had unique lantern sculpts instead of repainting the same accessory. I can't figure the decisions he makes. I don't know. I know that if he does Guy Gardner, that's got to be a whole brand new sculpt, does it not, Jones?
It does. I have the leather jacket and all that. Was the Hal Jordan and John Stewart different sculpts?
Yes.
Yes, I didn't get a Hal Jordan. That's one on my wish list or what I'm looking for.
Yeah, well, the Hal Jordan figure looks like the old Super Powers figure. The John Stewart figure doesn't. It's taller and it has that funny stance to it that he did on the first wave of figures. And I mean, it's okay for a John Stewart figure. Don't get me wrong, it's fine, but it's a whole different ball of wax. Now, what they did do, they reused that sculpt for Nightwing.
Well, I suppose they did. Yeah, I'm looking at it right in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Speaking of McFarlane's decisions, I heard a little bird tweeted in my ear that Rob Liefeld, you know who that is, right? He used to be Todd's friend. I think they made up and they're friends again. I don't know. But he's taking a page out of the McFarlane book. He's going to start his own toy company. I'm going to watch that fail with glee in my heart. I'm talking about the lantern accessories. Yes, the lanterns are all different. Every one of them. I think that's interesting too because they were in the comics as well. I don't know if you realize that or not.
Yeah, I still got to get me a Hal Jordan and a Sinestro. They're on my to-do list, and a Black Mana, but it looks like the Black Mana is going to be solved for me here with this black suit variant.
Yeah, just get that. I mean, be done with it. And obviously, there's not going to be no more Walmart exclusive bullshit, right? Now, what he could do is he could do the bullshit that he did with the gold variant Sinestro, and that what was that other figure, Superman or something, where you have to buy the case in order to get them. Jeff, let me I can't read what you got up there, but I'll read it off the screen over here. For G.I. Joe Classified, I pre-ordered Jinx, Torch, Doc.
Naugahyde.
Yeah, Dreadnought on Amazon. Look forward to them. Plus, there will be pre-orders for retro figures, and Beachhead is one and a few more. Good. Thank you, Jeff. That's some G.I. Joe news, courtesy of All Music Fan 88, Jeff. So,
Bill, were you a big G.I. Joe fan?
Yes, I was. As a matter of fact, I had a very extensive G.I. Joe collection. I had I had all the first wave figures, all the straight arms. They didn't have the bendy arms when I bought them.
I'm probably gonna anger some people in the comments, but I was never a big fan of those. And a few G.I. Joe figures I did have played goons in my Super Powers collection or my Toy Biz Marvel, and they were just people for Punisher to shoot and Spider-Man to beat up and Hulk to smash.
I can dig it. Matter of fact, the last thing I did with my G.I. Joe figures was have aliens eat them. And I even took some of them apart and painted bloody stumps on their arms and legs and had torsos that were blowed out so the chest bursters could come out. But my extensive G.I. Joe collection is now in the hands of Grindhead Jim.
Keeping it alive.
Yep. And knowing is half the battle. There it is. Yep, you got that right. All right.
I can name you the 3 or 4 G.I. Joe figures I had. I had Sergeant Slaughter. I had the Dreadnought dude that came with the Warthog. I had the SWAT team guy. I think he was Shockwave, or I can't remember. And then I had the Snake Eyes, the ninja. And that was it.
Did you have the ninja version of Snake Eyes, or did you have the commando version?
He was the one that looked like looked like black suit Spider-Man to me.
Did he come with a dog or a wolf?
I cannot remember.
See, I had both versions. Well, there might have been a third version. I think there was. I had all 3. Okay, and I've got another box full of G.I. Joe figures back here that I found the other day that need to go to Grindhead. Just a few odds and ends, but there was Ninja, and then there was first version Commando, second version Commando. The second version.
I think I also had a Cobra generic soldier too.
Yeah. I had the Cobra soldier and the Cobra not commander, but the sergeant or whatever. There were two Cobra soldiers. One was a regular grunt soldier, and the other one was like his superior. And then there was Cobra Commander. I had 2 versions of him. I had one with the helmet and one with the hood. You had to send off flag points to get the one with the hood. But anyway, Grindhead takes care of all that. He's got his work cut out for him to try to complete that G.I. Joe fort that I sent him pieces of. Gojitron wasn't a fan of G.I. Joe either, Joneser.
Well, I'm not alone.
Jeff had 80% of the original G.I. Joe line. They were second to me after Motu loved them just as much. I had a lot of fun with my G.I. Joes, Jeff, and I played with them. I even had that big hovercraft thing that was called the Whale. That was almost as big as their damn fort. I remember that was the last year I got toys for Christmas. My mom got me the G.I. Joe Ford and the Whale. And I never got any more toys for Christmas after that unless I got them for myself. But I enjoyed my G.I. Joes. I played battles with them. Me and a friend of mine, we would build forts on either side of the playroom and have battles out in the middle with everything. And we mixed our figures. It was a combination of G.I. Joes and Star Wars and all that. And hey, there was a few adventure people thrown in there to go with it too.
Yeah, I had a few little dollar store knockoff versions of either which or. I had a couple Star Wars guys, but one thing I did have, I forgot about until you were talking about that hovercraft thing. I didn't have that, but there was like a missile base or something like that. Yeah. And I got it. My mom found it at a secondhand store. It didn't have half the stuff that it had in it, but I just thought it was cool. It was a little base. So I used that when I played with either my superheroes or my Star Wars guys. I think to me it was a Death Star, and when I was a kid, you know.
Well, I had a Death Star too, bro. I had the big Kenner version. It was like 3 stories tall.
That's awesome.
And that thing could be anything I wanted it to be. It wasn't always the Death Star. Sometimes it was Cobra Command headquarters. Sometimes it was the Daily Planet building. I mean, it was a lot of things. And I like toys like that. I like playsets like that that can be versatile.
Sure. Those Ninja Turtle sewer playsets work pretty well with the Dick Tracy dudes for a back alley.
Thanks, Radical Toys. He's giving us some coffee money, man. He gives $2 Canadian. That's much appreciated there, Adam. I thank you so much for supporting the channel like that, man. And we're climbing there. We're getting close. We got I think last I looked it was 902. Let me look at the YouTube's the studio here on the old phone. 903 folks. I got one at 3:00 last night. It looks like 21 subscribers so far in the last 28 days. If we go at this rate, we're going to get it before summer. Let's celebrate Radical Toys' first super chat on a live stream. Wow, that dude gave me his first super chat ever on a live stream.
Thanks, Adam.
Adam, you're the bee's knees, brother. Gojatron says the Death Star was the Daily Planet. Perry White had a big ass gun in his office. No, you take the gun out. Or you just pretend it's not there.
No way. Perry White needed the gun. Just in case.
I agree with that.
To motivate them freaking guys to go out and get that story.
Absolutely. And look right over there. Over here. There we go. Right there. You see the big dollar sign there floating. It says Radical Toys donated Canadian $2 in a super chat. All right.
Adam,
and look, I'm gonna like that. Bam.
Adam, I will haunt your live stream sometime in the future and return the favor, my friend.
Oh, dude, I've been super chatting him every time I get a chance to get on one of his live streams, and I'm doing that for a reason. All right. I want people to see how easy it is to send somebody a freaking $1. If everybody in Adam's super chat would send him $1, he could have $15
every show.
Yeah, every freaking show. And I can tell you right now that the peanuts that they're giving you for the ad revenue, that ain't crap. Everything is in memberships and super chats. That's how we make our money. We don't make our money from ad revenue. And I don't even get ad revenue because I got to get 1,000 subscribers to get it. So check your subscriptions, boys. If you're not subscribed to me, please do. Live in 30 minutes. All right, so we're gonna take off here, but before then, because we don't want to step on Adam, but Adam's gonna get his show going here in about 30 minutes, folks. So when you guys leave here, hit him up. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Before I go, Joneser. I want to show off a couple of things here. First of all, and I'm going to take over the screen. I don't think your scene is in this, so you may not be able to talk with me here just for a second there, Joneser.
No worries.
All right. First of all, I want to thank our Streamlabs supporters, Ocean Breed Salty and Gojitron, who sent us super tips on Streamlabs last week. And I want to thank our YouTube Super Chat stars. I Like Salt, Gilster37, Mr. Benny Poe, Radical Mom, Mary Otwald, Mr. B, and of course our very own Motu Joneser, who came in and gave us a few super chats. Hey there, Mr. Benny. I see you there in the chat right now. I've got some music and fun that I've been working on. I want to add another music video to this list before tomorrow night, and I will try to get working on that here soon. And bringing Joneser back in here with me. You're back on the screen there, Joneser. Had to shout out some of my supporters. And Mr. Benny has joined us.
I wasn't doing anything. You didn't catch me playing with my toys again.
Oh, well, even if we did, what's wrong with that? So anyway, yeah, we've had a lot of people who have who've gone out of their way to help support me, and I want to appreciate them for that. And that includes you now, Adam. I'm going to add you on that list of superstars that I keep over here to throw every once in a while. Earnings are donations for sure. Unless you're 30K subs, you ain't making money. And it all depends on your 30K subs, what type of channel you are. Whether you're getting big ad revenue bucks or little ad revenue bucks.
I think even video type can matter. Like there's a bigger YouTuber that I tend to watch. It's a guy named, I'm going to just name drop him if you don't mind. Is a guy named Cinnamon Toast Ken. He's been on YouTube a long time. I get a kick out of his show. I watch a lot of his stuff. He was talking about, because it's nice to get tips from the top. And he was talking about certain type videos he does. He gets a lot of ad revenue. And other type videos he doesn't get as much ad revenue, but he gets a lot of views. So sometimes the views don't always count toward the ads. It depends on the type of content.
It's weird, and I don't know if a human being is behind it or whether a bot's behind it. I don't know how they calculate that. But it's not for us little guys, especially a toy channel. It's not going to be much at all. And you look at the ads that you're getting. Some ads give you more revenue than other ads do. I'm sure Zuru 5 surprise ads don't give you very much revenue. And for some reason, they seem to chuck those on toy channels because, hey, it's a toy, right?
Wouldn't be bad to get sponsored by like Big Bad Toy Store or somebody like that. Because then you'd maybe get to feature some of their stuff on your show,
I wish I was big enough to where I could offer you guys a discount for going over there and buying from them or Entertainment Earth or whoever else that I could give you a discount on. I'm going to tell you that I've been putting more and more items up on my website, guys. Good.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
if you guys aren't following him on Instagram or Facebook, he's got that going. So yeah, I've been watching you, and he's posting like a madman.
Yeah, go check out Big Mike's webpage, manicplastic.com. He put the link up there on the screen just a minute ago. There you go.
That's one of mine I got from him.
He's got modern and vintage stuff.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I'm not shouting him out, just because he's a friend, which he is, but also I was a customer. I've bought from him, so I
have too. Matter of fact, I got a Lone Ranger, small replica lunchbox that he's got. Lone Ranger, dude, it was so cool. And as soon as I can, I'm going to send him some money for that, so that he can send it to me. He hasn't told me what the price plus shipping was going to be. I've been waiting on that.
But yeah, very good guy. Reasonable cost, ships fast. I couldn't recommend him higher.
And Radical Toys says Mike's got the goodies that others don't have. If you're looking for accessories, he's got some accessories. And he'll dig through his accessory tub and he might be able to help you find what you want. Send him a DM, tell him what you're looking for. He'll be on the watch out for it. So, yeah, thanks, Big Mike, for coming in and visiting us today and telling us about your toy store. Yeah, takes me a while to get stuff listed. I have so much stuff. Yeah, he's a one man band, folks, and you gotta admire somebody like that. He's working by there, Mr. Poe, Computer Fund, $4.99. Thank you, Mr. Benny. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that super chat so much. And there it is on the screen. Computer Fund, $4.99 super chat. And I appreciate that, Mr. Poe. You'll see the $ flash up here in a minute. And so we're already started. So once I get the graph going for this weekend, I've already got a couple of super chats that I can add into it, so it don't start at 0 like it did last Saturday. So you guys are superstars. Thank you so much for supporting the show. I'll probably get that shipped out on Monday, hopefully, Bill, and I'll let you know total price. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. It's got that Lone Ranger logo from the comics that's got like a rope around it with the Lone Ranger's mask in the middle of it. It's so cool. And it looks like a action figure accessory storage box. It's going to wind up being. Go ahead, Johnson.
Oh, you'll know in a minute.
Oh, here he is, Mary Otwall, the Radical Mom, giving us a $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So,
see, Bill, I live in the future. I see these just a little bit before you do. So, if you ever want to know what's going to happen,
it all depends on latency, doesn't it?
If you ever want to know what's going to happen 2 or 3 seconds in the future, just ask me and I can tell you.
Well, all right. Well, I'll stick with my magic 8-ball. All right. So, what I did yesterday, and my wife was kind of upset with me because I didn't go to bed until 9:30 last night doing this. And I had to get up at 4 a.m. this morning because they got me going into work at 5 again now. I recut the super powers. There you go, Mr. Poe donating that $4.99 super chat. I'm waiting on Radical Moms to come through on this particular overlay, but I recut that thing, and I wasn't very pleased with some of the scenes that were in it, especially the invisible plane scenes. So I got into a little more powerful video editor that I'd use on occasion and fixed some things in it, added a few scenes. There we go. There's Radical Mom donating $5 Canadian super chat. I want to show that, and I want to get your input on it, Jones, because I may have to recut it some more. But you know that this was a Cartoon Groovy, right? You remember those Cartoon Network Groovies?
Sure. There was a Thundercats one. There was a Betty Boop one. There were a few different versions.
And they always started with that little toy projector. You remember that? I got that added back in at the beginning and the end of that. This is,
in fact, I think there was a Johnny Quest one. I think there was a Thundar the Barbarian one. I think there was a Fantastic Four one. There were a few of these.
Well, this one was for the Super Friends. Now, it's not, I didn't even try to go scene for scene. I just wanted to showcase the main Super Friends and use my collection to do it. And we've already seen this before, but like I said, I've tweaked this just slightly, and I want to see what Jones's reaction to it is. So let me go down here to the videos, and let's see if I've got that queued up. I think I do.
sounding entirely just crushed and crumbled. I'm not sure if it's safe to report from my vantage point. I really need to leave. Solar Defense has informed me that the surrounding areas are in ruin. I see some people running now. In the opinion of this reporter, if this nation, or in fact the world, ever needed heroes, that time is now. That time is now.
And if you are a member of the channel, you already have access to that video right now as an early release. That video will release tomorrow at some point for everyone else. What do you think about the recut? Did you see some of the recut scenes in that?
You know, if anything was different, I didn't notice. I'll be honest with you, but I do love that video. I love seeing your toys and the scenes I recognize from the original animation. That is awesome.
Well, one of the things I did, like I said, I wasn't pleased with my invisible jet scenes. I've got her flying the invisible jet across the screen. And I thought Aquaman didn't get enough love in that. So I went and had a few more scenes of Aquaman added into that. Plus the opening and closing with the little toy projector with the two little mice on it. And we've got a super chat request here for Drunken Sailor, which we would take care of in just a second. I want to catch up on the chat real quick. Featured chat froze on me real quick. It's Miss Deborah Pose, Miss Debbie's first super chat on a live stream today, and she did it right here on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Congratulations, Miss Deborah. You have now entered the world of YouTubing. Miss Jamie is here. Hello, Jamie. Good to see you. Bill's toy, White Curtains music, and Ted Knight's voice. I love this, says Gojitron. Yeah, matter of fact, like I said, Goji, I think you're a channel. No, you're not. You're a patron. Yeah, that's not available for patrons yet, and I'm sorry about that, patrons, but I can release stuff early to the YouTube members, and to do it for the patrons, I have to go a different route, which requires me to upload it to a secret channel that I have on here on YouTube. Thank you. Hope all is well with you also, says Jamie, and love this video, says Miss Deborah. All right, Miss Deborah loves another video, and she wanted me to play it. So let me get down here and cue that thing up so that she can get her wish. Because she paid for it, she gets what she wants.
Absolutely.
And you too can do that if you want to. Just pick a video and send a super chat, and I'll be more than happy to play it. Hey, Gap After Dark, good to see you, sir. Let me run back up here and put him on the screen here. There we go. Gap After Dark saying hello to everybody. Back to us. There we go. So I got the video queued up. We'll play it in just a second. I promise you that. And yay, says Miss Debbie. All right. Are you ready for some Drunken Sailor there? We love. Hello, everyone. Mike P has made it. Hey, Mike. Good to see you, man. I hope you're feeling better. Everybody, y'all say some prayers for Mike, man. He needs them. But yeah, we love us some sea shanties over here, don't we, Joneser?
Oh yeah, I love. You don't have to twist my arm to hear some Drunken Sailor.
All right, Freddie. Here we go. Let me go ahead and get that going.
Ready? 2, 3. What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning.
Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Early in the morning.
Way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him in a longboat till he's over. Put him in a longboat till he's sober. Put him in a longboat till he's sober. Early in the morning. Way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning. Way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning.
Stick him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him. Stick him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him. Stick him in the scupper with a hose pipe on him. Early in the morning.
Way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning. Give him a dose of salt and water. Give him a dose of salt and water. Give him a dose of salt and water. Early in the morning. Way hey oh, way hey oh, way hey oh. Early in the morning.
That's what we do with the drunken sailor. That's what we do with the drunken sailor. That's what we do with the drunken sailor. Early in the morning.
Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning. Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning. Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning.
And I Like Salt says Drunken Sailor is the #1 song request here. I think you're right.
It's just such a catchy, memorable song, and especially if you're a fan of sea shanties, or if you're a fan of pirates, or if you played the Assassin's Creed Black Flag game, you're familiar.
And I hear it all the time. The perfect voice was Bobby Bass for Fisto to have the voice of Bobby Bass. Thank you, Miss Deborah. That was awesome. And of course, real quick there, Jones, let me show it to them one more time so they can see what they can pick from. Here we have our. We have T-Lot sure does sing in tune. Yes, she does. And we have Music and Fun, Drunken Sailor, Sally Brown. The Wellerman is the new one on there. Karaoke Night, That Time Is Now. Shipping Up to Eternia, Scarborough Fair, which is a beautiful song. I'm going to play that for someone if they want to super chat me for that. And then we've got Instrument of War and Hogan Telling Lies. And of course, I've got Orko's Magic Trick. I've got more videos than these, and I want to recut them slightly to make it easier to show them on the show. If you want to make a music list of those, some of them are available on the channel. Those that are not will be soon. Wellerman, I want to work on that. I want to make the Wellerman look as nice as Drunken Sailor video. Right now, it's just got the main singer singing the song, which is all it really is. But I think there needs to be a little more to it. What do you think, Johnson?
I gotta wonder when you find the time to cut these, or did you just not sleep?
Sometimes it's the case, man. And like if I want to make a new video to show this weekend, which I really want to do,
that's what I'm working on. I haven't put out anything new in 3 weeks. It might be even a month. I gotta get on my crap.
I told you what you need to do. I thrown the glove.
You did. You did.
But anyway, I've got another one I want to do, and if I don't get it done by tomorrow, oh well. But I really want to have that available tomorrow night show so that you guys can have a new video. There you go, Joneser. Who is the girl that he's got the picture of behind him there with his angry face?
I have no idea. I just the guys at work, they always make fun of me for being the comic book guy, and I've just embraced it. You know, they're just like, "Oh, look, it's a middle-aged, huh? Dude, can I do his voice?" You know, what great with that dude is he was like just the right mix of snarky sarcasm. You know, get your good behind.
I knew a guy that owned a comic book shop that was comic book guy. He looked like him. He was the same size as him. Had the same scraggly, nasty mustache, beard thing going.
No, and they get me for it at work, and I've just, you know, here's the thing, and here's a little pro tip for losers out there. If people are making fun of you for something and it bothers you, the best way to get them to just stop doing it is to just embrace it and just roll.
I've always said that, you know, if Charlie Brown, they're always picking on me. The reason they're picking on you, Charlie, is because you give them a show every time they do. So they want the show to happen. They pick on you. If there's no show to be had, then they get bored and they move on to somebody else who will give them a show.
I'm gonna name drop my son here a little bit. My son's name is Taylor. He's a teenage boy, and when he was younger, kids would call him Taylor Swift. It bothered him, and he hated it, and he wanted to change his name and everything. And I says, you know what you got to do? And he's like, well, I'm not going to do it, because he knew anything I suggest is going to be way too much. But I said, what you got to do is if they start calling you Taylor Swift, you just got to go, you know what? The player's going to play. The hater's going to hate. So I'm just going to shake. You know, just do it. You know, act like it don't bother you.
Yeah, that's the way you play them off. And if you play them off like that, you know, you're one of the guys. But if you act like a jerk and do like Music Fan 88 says and tell them off and lose all your friends.
Well, okay, that's how 44-year-old Joneser suggests how you deal with it. When I was his age, 15-year-old Joneser was more of a, you call me Taylor Swift one more time, I'm going to punch you in the freaking nose and I'll beat your ass outside the schoolyard. Nah! And then I'd do it.
Yeah, and then you get your ass in the screen too, right? That didn't work out as well as you thought it would. Oh, I remember the days when there would be a split-second thought through the tiny little brain up here. Is it worth it? If it is, I'm fixing to beat your ass.
You know, remember that? I've developed it since I've gotten older, is the ability to just count to 10 before I make a rash decision. But when I was younger, when I was his age, I was so impulsive. The kid was already laying on the ground before I thought about hitting him.
Well, like I said, you know, I'll be like, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but is it worth it? And if the answer was yes, oh, your ass was wild.
You were smarter than me, Bill, because I was just so like, what? Like, I didn't even think. Like, I mean, I was more of a doer than a thinker, I think. As I've gotten older, I've become more of a thinker than a doer.
practice cool dance moves with him to pull it off. Yeah, some Taylor Swift dance moves. There you go. There you go. There you go.
My son's much cuter than me.
Who wants some Wellerman? I'm in the mood for going whaling. You want to go whaling, Jones? Or let's go.
You know,
whaling.
Bill, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but it's your show, and you can kind of play whatever you want whenever you want to.
Ready? 2, 3. What do we do with the drum? There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew up her bow, up down, or below my bully boys blow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. To the side, harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not of greed, and he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack, then tight once more. All boats were lost, there were only 4, but still that whale did go. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The Wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew and all. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
There you go, Wellerman. And Mr. George Valentine joined us while we were playing the tune. Good to see you, Mr. George. How are you doing today, sir?
I like salt popped in too.
Say that again?
I like salt popped in too.
He sure did. He saw me doing an oopsie there. He had been I shouted him out earlier when he said that the Drunken Sailor was our number 1 tune on
that was him. Duh. So he's been here a while.
Yeah, he came in during Drunken Sailor, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least that's when he chatted anyway.
I saw the comment, missed it was him. What a dope. Me, I'm the dope.
Speaking of dopes, you released a new short with some more sage advice for losers. Did you not?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll paraphrase it right now because I think it's relevant, and any working people who have a working crew of working men or even ladies can qualify too. I want to say it went something like pro tips for losers. Every crew has some idiot no one wants to work with. And if you don't know who that is, it's probably you.
I laughed my ass off when I saw that because I always remember the one that they used to tell people when I was in the Army. They said, when you go into a poker game, always look for the sucker. If you can't find the sucker, it's probably you.
Right. That's the same thing. Absolutely. What was funny about that video, Bill, is I was having a frustrating day out in the plant, and I was dealing with said problem. And I actually filmed that from my office at work, which I never do.
I got noticed that. Hey, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
I said I noticed that.
Oh, yeah, and I was hoping my boss wouldn't. I was on my break, to be fair, but I don't think I'm supposed to film on the premises talking about the people there inside.
All the idiots I work with are in management. Failing upwards is a real thing. It is.
I got another thing for that, actually. I saw a T-shirt that said this, and even though I felt a little attacked, I also felt like, oh my God, this is hilarious because it's true. And it basically said, good help is hard to find. That's why idiots are in management.
Well, it's the Dilbert principle. I'm sure you've heard that one before. It's kind of a variation of the Peter principle, but those who cannot get the job done are put into management so they can get out of the way of the people that actually can do the work.
I've seen that, and and be honest with you, in a failing place that'll be losing employees day in and day out, that's probably more likely the case, is the boss is an idiot and doesn't know what he's doing. But in my experience, and quite honestly, the boss is usually the smartest guy in the room. He might not know how to do every little thing, but he knows a little bit about everything to make the whole banana peel. Some people get so focused on their little section, they forget there's a whole building.
Most places, I like salt with a $10 super chat. Let's see how the weekend goes, Bill. Computer and song fund. All right. You get a song I like, Salt, and you never tell me what you want me to play. You really need to let me know what you would like to hear because you know what's on the list. But anyway, going back to what I was saying before, that there's the pointy hair bosses. And I've had some of those. Those are the ones that don't know what you're doing. They have no idea how to do what you're doing, but they're busy worried about the cost of paper clips in China and shit like that.
See, I'm the type of cat, I could walk anywhere in the line and I could sub out any position in the line and I could repair any machine in the line.
Let me ask you a question. Now, I know that there are those who work with me who watch me because they're subscribed to me. But anyway, all right, scenario. Suppose that there's a piece of equipment that everyone in the department needs to have. And the company supplied equipment keeps getting broken. What do you do?
Okay, I have a couple questions. If I'm the boss here and I have to fix this problem, so if I'm going to repeat all this. So, okay, there's a critical piece of equipment in the plant that everybody needs for the entirety of the business to operate, and it keeps becoming broken.
Well, it's a device. It's a device that everyone needs to be able to use. Let's just say it's a device that will measure. It's a measuring device, and in order to make quality parts, you have to check your parts occasionally, and this is the device that you're going to use to check your parts. So each workstation should have this device at the workstation.
Okay, here's how I fix it.
Broken or moved or stolen or whatever. So what do you do?
I got a couple questions. One, is it constantly becoming broken or lost, or both?
Well, this is a precision instrument. So if it gets dropped on the ground, guess what?
Done. It's done. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's how I fix this. One, if the idiot keeps breaking it, that guy's not allowed to touch it no more. Two, what's our budget here? Can we buy like 5 of these and have 3 spares in the upstairs, or where are we at?
All right. Yes, that's a possible thing. But let's just say that Joe Blow at Station A doesn't have his anymore. He's either lost or broken his, or his don't work no more. So he goes and gets them from Station B and uses them all day long. Now Station B doesn't know where theirs are.
Right. So he's robbing Peter to pay Paul.
All right. Yeah, somebody just named what we've got there. It's calipers.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think
pair of calipers.
They smelled it.
They smelled it. All right, so a pair of calipers, and the kind that we use have to be coolant proof, which means that they're sort of water resistant. If you immerse them in water, they're done. Hey, Mrs. Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. I see you've made it to work safely. Good. She won't be with me tomorrow night either, except maybe popping in like this. Good to see you, babe. Anyway, yeah. So what the solution is that everyone shall have a pair of calipers that are their very own. Now, my question to you is this. If you were going to go that route, which I think is nuclear in my opinion, but if you're going to go that route, would you issue everyone a set of calipers, and if they broke them, make them pay for the new pair, or would you make them buy the calipers right off the bat first thing, and now they're theirs?
There's two ways to do that. That's two fantastic ideas. Another one, here's what I think I would do if I was in charge of all this. Is I think the company would buy everybody a pair, and they would all be engraved or tagged to where you know which one's yours, so nobody can do any tomfoolery or some nonsense. Now that one's on the company. There you are. Now if you want a spare, that's on you. And if you want a certain kind of type of one or whatever, that's on you. And if you break the company one, I think there should be like an allowance. Because, I mean, this is a disposable part. Am I right? This is eventually going to wear out and become useless. Or if you take care of it, it's good for life. Okay. Then I think there needs to be a reward for those who are responsible with said equipment, and a punishment or disincentive for those who probably shouldn't be handling one.
Okay. Best case scenario would be, if you're a new hire, or let's see, I have a sign out sheet first. If that fail, require replace. That's not what happened. All right, here, in my opinion, is the best case scenario. Everyone that's already there get issued a pair. They're marked down, serial numbers. They're yours. Okay, you take care of them. If you no longer work here, you turn them back in. If they're in good condition, good deal. You break them, you have to buy a new pair. You pay for those. Maintenance guys at my place buy most of their own tools. Well, yeah, most maintenance men must have their own tools. Mechanics, if you work for a dealership as a mechanic, you better bring your own tools. That's why the Snap-on guy is always coming in there and getting them.
In the plant, we have toolboxes that are for anyone's use. If you go to the shop, those guys have their boxes locked, and you don't even sniff in that direction without.
That's right, because that's their shit. They probably paid for it. It's either Craftsman or Snap-on or better.
Yep.
Caliper is a lifetime.
You go to the shop. Yeah, if you go to the shop, those people will bite. They don't even like seeing you walk in there. They will, what do you need?
A caliper is a lifetime tool. Joe blows are everywhere. There is no cure. All right. What I would do if I were the boss, and I'm not, is I would issue everybody a set of calipers in their name. They sign for them. You're responsible for them until you no longer work here. You turn them back in there in good condition. You're good. If not, you break them. Then you're going to buy the next pair. Here's the thing. That is not what they're doing at my work. The calipers that we use are not the best. They're not the worst. They're $175 a pair.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they're coolant proof. They're coolant proof. They're nice calipers. They're precision tools. That's what I would do too. Yeah, but that's not what they did. We're going to buy our initial set of calipers at $175, taken out of our paycheck in 6 equal payments. Every paycheck until they're paid for.
So if you paid for them and you leave, you taking them with you. That's yours.
You damn skippy I am. Now they say that if you leave and you turn them back in good condition, they'll refund your money. I wouldn't hold my breath on that motherfucker, especially if you get fired. Mine are mine. They're in the truck right now. Now they issued me a lock and a locker too, so I can lock the son bitches up in the locker. And he was big on everybody putting their lock on the locker, even if they wasn't using it. So my locker's locked. I got some batteries. Okay, they're Milwaukee lithium batteries that operate tools, because the motherfuckers in the plant have a tendency to destroy batteries. They dunk them in coolant, or they drop them in the floor and bust them where they won't stay clicked into the damn bottom of the damn tool or whatever. I went on Amazon and I bought me some fucking batteries. So if the company run batteries are pieces of shit and they don't work, or they got the clips broken on them, or I can't find a fucking battery, that happens all the time. I got my batteries. And Jack, you ain't getting my batteries. You can kiss my ass, but you ain't getting my batteries. And they stay locked in my locker until I need them. Because if you don't lock the son bitches up, they walk away. And all on their very own. They sprout little legs and they scurry away underneath something where you can't ever find them again.
Like a
same with calipers. I took a damn engraving tool and engraved my fucking name on the plastic box that the son bitches are supposed to stay in. And I dashed to somebody to come over there and open that fucking box and get them out, because they stay in the box till I pull them out to use them. Because guess what that keeps from happening? That keeps chips and dust from getting into some bitches that come off them damn machines. And it keeps them from falling in the fucking floor and busting, because if you bust a pair of calipers, they ain't good for shit.
See, my job, part of my duties are to make sure that the production floor produces. And
maybe Bill is loser number 13.
But we have a few different things. There are parts that you have to have on hand 100% of the time, and then there's
kiss my ass, you ain't getting my batteries, needs to be on a t-shirt. You got it, Goji. I've got a t-shirt shop. I'm going to do a kiss my ass, you ain't getting my batteries t-shirt. And I'm going to get me a cartoon picture of Milwaukee battery and put on that son bitch, and I'm going to wear it at work. Thank you, Gojitron. And when asked who took them, it's always not me. Not me as an imp. He lives on the walls, and he comes out and he does shit. And somebody comes in the room and said, "Who did this?" And all the little kids go, "Not me." And then there's that nobody.
Yeah, or the like, where do you want to eat when you ask your wife and she says, I don't know, or doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've never eaten there before. Is the food any good? I don't know.
I can tell you doesn't matter always matters when you suggest a place.
I found that to be damn true. But you know, did I
tell you the way out? Did I tell you the way to get around that?
No.
Well, if there's any married men in the audience, and this is fantastic, I would ask you to please exit the room for about 5 minutes and come back. Here's how you do this. Deb, you might want to go to. Any ladies, you get out of here. Secret knowledge for the men. Come back about a couple minutes. Okay, here's how you do this, fellas. You sick of this? You going out to dinner, wife says, hey, we're going to go eat somewhere. Where do you want to go? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Then you go, hey, pizza. I don't want pizza. Hey, Taco Bell. Oh, I don't want tacos. So where do you want to go then? It doesn't matter. Here's how they beat it. Get in the car, put her in the car, just start driving. Go neutral direction towards everything. And then you look at your woman and you say, guess where we're going to eat? Now you're fun, you're spontaneous. She's into this. Okay, he's being fun. Where are we going to eat? Now you got it. This is where you gauge her interest. So say she goes, Burger King. Nope, not Burger King. Keep driving. Outback Steakhouse. Nope, not there. Applebee's? Yeah, how'd you know?
I see what you did there. I'll tell you, I've played 20 questions. I've done that before. Beef or chicken? You start out like that, or I do have a couple of places that it doesn't matter if I suggest them. It's always going to be a yes, and that will be either Cracker Barrel or Waffle House.
My wife has her go-tos as well. Applebee's,
And
Olive
now,
Garden.
what you just suggested was great, but I've done something similar to that, and that's where the restaurant row, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's that street that you go down that's got all the shit to eat at on it. By God, if you ain't picked something by the time I get to the end of that street, I'm gonna keep it going. And you shit out of luck now because I ain't turning around.
So I hope none of the ladies caught on to the secret knowledge.
Now,
You're
I
all
like
welcome back now.
he's sure the ladies left. Yeah,
Wink,
sure
wink.
they did too. Yeah.
It works in reverse too if you got a picky husband, I guess.
I just want to go where the bacon is. Can't go wrong with bacon. You can order McDonald's hamburgers and you can tell them to put bacon on them now and they will. Roadside Park, blown sandwiches. You sound like my granddad. Oh God, granddad me and Anthony took us out one time. We had to go work for him. And he said, get in the car, boys. We're going to go get us some lunch. And we're thinking, oh boy, we're going to McDonald's. We're going to go to Wendy's. We're going to go to Burger King. This motherfucker went to the Kroger store and went inside and got bread and bologna and came back out. And he said, here you go, boys, lunchtime.
Right. I'll tell you what, I love me a bologna sandwich, man. I'd have all over this. We get some horseradish too, Gramps. Awesome. Let's do this.
But I can tell you this. I've been known to do this before too, and it never works out well, but it's punishment in my opinion. If you can't decide where we're going to eat, if you will not give me any ideas of where to eat, I will take your ass to McDonald's, and you will get a fucking hamburger and French fries from McSloppies. I don't know if you've seen that before, but they show you how the how-to video of how that they show the employees of how to make a McDonald's sandwich. You put the bottom bun on there, and then you haphazardly stack sideways the hamburger meat on there, and then you take the piece of cheese and you put it on there, and you stagger it out too so that it's kind of off the center. And then you take mustard and ketchup and mayonnaise and squirt as much of it in there as you can. And then you stack the bun so that the whole thing is sitting there like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And then you wrap the paper up on it and then take some more ketchup and smear it on the paper as you put it back together again. There you go. There's your hamburger bun. That's how you do it. Fish patties on a bun.
My first job was fast food, and we did Arby's. And at the time, they had the 5 roast beef sandwiches for $5. You couldn't make these things fast enough. So, I'd be sitting there dealing them like cards, wrap, throwing them up there. You're just constantly making these little roast beef sandwiches, and as many of them as you can put in that little warmer. This is the city of San Diego to a drive-through. These suckers are, I couldn't fill that thing quick enough. They're just gone. We wouldn't even look at the screen anymore. We just had a kid. You make roast beef sandwiches till I say stop. That's just what we do. We don't even count them anymore. They're just constantly going out, and then eventually dinner rush will be over, and I'll say, okay, you can stop trying to fill the warmer now.
Push it. You will have the fishing diet, a thermos of coffee and beanie weenies. There's a lot to be said for Vienna sausages. Viennies and crackers. They sell them at all convenience stores and gas stations. Fast food industry where we learned to work, or where we learned we didn't want to ever work.
Right. Paper route.
They're 24 hours. I went actually longer than that. I think they paid me for the training. I went to a class and learned how to make hamburgers and learned how to clean, not lean, and all that shit. I worked in the fast food restaurant one shift. I threw every gut I had out of me during that shift, and I never returned for the second shift. Oh, she outed herself, staying in the room and listened.
Yeah, like if they were like, hey, man, we're all going to tell the secrets of women and where we're all going to leave. Everybody's going to have their ear to the door on that one.
Well, there's a place here on the YouTubies that used to be a men's club, but there were lots of women that showed up in that for some reason.
No, ma'am. Like Married with Children.
Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut used to be a good place to eat, but it's not anymore. Do you remember when Pizza Hut was a fine dining experience where you actually put on nice clothes? You walked in the door.
They'd have like candle on the tablecloth. There actually was a tablecloth.
Dim lights, music playing in the background, people talking softly, not screaming and hollering at each other. You walk in the door and you stand there, and a server, a waitress comes and takes you and takes you to your table. Red checkered tablecloth.
Yep. No, that's the way it was.
Not anymore, Jack. Not anymore, Jack.
No, now if you're lucky, they at least have a buffet and you can at least do that, But now it's like no point even going in there.
There's no point in going in there. And the pizza's greasy too. I don't remember Pizza Hut pizza being greasy.
It changed, just like everything else. I think the Kentucky Fried Chicken was better back in the day too. It all changed.
Pizza Hut buffet was awesome. The problem with the Pizza Hut buffet or any buffet in general are there are certain people who should be allowed near buffets.
And they're usually the ones that like to go.
Oh, yeah. A pitcher of beer if you had a friend working there. Well, hell, a pitcher of anything you wanted to drink is what they brought you out. And you had a red plastic cup with ice in it, and you poured your drink into it. And if you needed some more, they went and got you another pitcher of it and took the old pitcher away. You remember those days?
I do. Deborah here is saying she has stories that it'd take too long for him to type out. She should come on sometime and tell her crazy Pizza Hut stories.
She's capable of doing that. I can make that happen, Debbie. Just let me know. And I've drank 2 cups of coffee. I can't drink too much more coffee because I've got to go to work tomorrow. I can't become all caffeined out and get all speeded up and then try to go to bed. Have you ever done that before, Jones?
I think after 11 at night, coffee just doesn't work on me anymore. I'll get 5 minutes out of it and I'm done.
I can go to sleep after drinking coffee, but Saturday nights are the worst. By the time it's time to go to the show's put to bed and me and Jones have finally had our final conversations, I'm usually like...
Yeah, no, me too. In fact, I think the last time, if I got it right, we stayed up to like 1:30 in the morning.
Yesterday.
We stayed up to like 1:30 in the morning talking to each other last Saturday just for that reason.
Yeah, we were both wired out. Wired out. It's like we'd taken straight speed, which we don't do that stuff. Not that I know anything about such matters, but it's just caffeine. I swear, it's caffeine. That's all.
To be honest with you, I used to be a drummer in a heavy metal band, so I know about those matters, these matters, other matters, and matters that you probably have only read in Reader's Digest.
You start tired and end up wired up. I'm going to tell you what we used to do back in the day, Jones, or back when I used to imbibe of alcohol. So the weekend starts when?
Friday.
You'd have right. When does it end?
Sunday-ish. Unless you overdid it Saturday, then somewhere on Saturday.
Monday morning when they kick you out of the bar Saturday night. Yeah. Okay. So how do you do that? Especially on Friday. Friday's the worst. You're close to my age, Bill. Yeah. So what you do is before you go out drinking, you get you one of those good old green BC powders. There's a difference between the blue and the green. The green are the arthritis strength. They have more caffeine in them. You go ahead and take that with your first beer. That will give you a little bit of boost of energy, and it will keep you going through the night. And you won't have so bad of a headache in the morning because, you got to get up in the morning. What is the first thing that you do after Friday night drunk on Saturday morning, Joneser?
Crack open another one.
Goddamn right, because you got to get that hangover took care of with the hair of the dog. Yeah. Did Cliffy hit 100 yet? Not yet. He's at 86. We got to
14 to
get
go.
Cliffy at 100.
14 to go. I want to give away this comic. And I was a little, we discussed that when we tried to do the giveaway, give him the push. In my mind, I thought we were going to hit it in that weekend and over it. Because I'm like, man, people are going to want this. But I don't even think barely 50 people even saw the video. And I only got like maybe 7 people even entered the damn thing.
Well, I know Cliffy's going to get there, but Cliffy's got to get his computer fixed and he's got to get back on the air. I know from personal experience. If you're not out here doing this, you're not going to get subscribers. And the reason you're not going to get subscribers is because the new eyes are not seeing you. That's why I'm trying to do videos on Fridays occasionally. Normally I don't. Why am I doing one today? Well, we had some superpowers news. Matter of fact, I want to go over that real quick and play some videos for you guys before we decide to make the show be over with. So down here, I've got guess what presentation. Here we go. This is what today's news was for those of you tuning in late. McFarlane Super Powers Wave 8 has been leaked. The figures that will be available are going to be Booster Gold, which we already figured that would be the case because we saw a sneak peek at him inside the bug ship on the box of the bug. Metamorpho, we'll talk about him on Sunday. For those of you who don't know who he was, but he was a DC superhero. He's still around. He has a unique superpower. Do you know much about Metamorpho, Joneser?
I do. I've seen at least a few cartoons, and I have a comic book or two. He seems kind of, for me, one of those like overpowered superheroes that I usually don't have a lot of interest in once they get there. Well, I don't see how to get him or how to hurt him or stop him.
Now, Metamorpho, and then he's got the little subtitle on it, the Element Man. So each part of his body, his head, his 2 arms, his torso, and his legs are all different elements. And he can make them shape into anything he wants, kind of like Super Stretch or Plastic Man. And he can control the elements as well, if I'm not mistaken. And what is his name?
Could you freeze him? Would that stop him? Like, would Captain Cold just ruin him?
I don't know. I know about him. The only reason I know who he is because he showed up in Batman and the Outsiders. But he had his own comic for a little while. It didn't last long, and then he became like a guest star or a backup feature.
Right.
I've got the JLU Metamorpho figure. Yeah. Guy Gardner. Forgot about him. Yeah. Speaking of Guy Gardner, that is another Green Lantern. I think Todd McFarlane likes Green Lanterns. I don't know. I just got that feeling. So we're going to see more Green Lanterns. Wasn't he able to turn his arm into kryptonite? I think so. He was able to.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he could do stuff like that. That's correct. And then we've got more Batmans. We've got the Batman Dark Knight Returns Batman. So that would be the one from the comic, the big beefy Batman. So they're going to use like the same buck that they used for I want to say they're going to use the Kilowog buck to make the Dark Knight Returns Batman.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, and then we've got Black Mana, black suit version. So it's the same figure painted black. So all you guys that missed out on Black Mana can get you a Black Mana. Gap After Dark says he likes him some Green Lantern. I do too. I think we're going to see the whole core before it's over with. To be honest with you.
You think Toma Ray or Toma 2 or what was his name? The little fish man looking one.
Yes, Tomo Ray. I think it was Tomag Ray. Whatever. Anyway, the little guy with the beak. Yeah, we need him. We need Salak or whatever his name was. The guy with the funny arms and the funny long face and Chip, the little
squirrel one.
Yeah, we need him. Nord. We need the Green Lantern from episode 13 of Joneser's Losers. That'd be Nord. You remember him?
Which one?
Nort. Gnort. Nort. He was the loser Green Lantern, the one that nobody wanted to play with and nobody wanted to have around. He was like a big teddy bear thing. Chewbacca
Robin, sir. Sorry, Goji got me
Aben,
distracted.
Sir, Tomar Ray, Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner's got his fans, and I know you guys like the Kyle Rayner. I'm not the biggest Kyle Rayner fan. He was like, okay, we need to have a new Green Lantern to replace old Green Lantern because we turned him into Parallax.
Yeah.
Well,
Kyle Rayner was the Lantern when I was a kid, so I have a little bit of a soft spot for him.
Yeah, well, I've got a Kyle Rayner figure. You know, I actually have the Total Justice League figures, if you remember those figures. Anyway, I've got the Kyle Rayner from that. He came with like this snap-on armor shit. I've got that in a tub somewhere that I lost.
Well, I'm going to throw something out into the universe, Bill. We're talking Green Lanterns. We're talking lots of Green Lanterns in the McFarlane line. Now, this leads one to speculate, are we going to see the OA playset?
I would like to, but if you figure that you're not going to ever get one, I go get you an Imaginext, Fisher Price Imaginext OA playset. It'll stand in just fine. We need Martian Manhunter, the classic one. That's not what you're going to get if we get a Martian Manhunter. I already know how Todd's brain works. Since Super Powers released a Martian Manhunter, what we're going to get is we're going to get a Martian Manhunter that looks a little bit different. So he'll look enough like the old one to pass, but he's probably going to have like a solid black costume on instead of the costume that he wore classic Justice League back in the Bronze Age. What do you think?
I'm gonna disagree with that. I think they're gonna make him look like he did in the 90s Justice League cartoon or 2000s Justice League cartoon, whichever the one was on Cartoon Network. They'll make him look like that one because we already got the Jon Stewart from that show. Why would we not?
I get it. I don't know what they're talking about on 1789. How about just the main power battery with a light up feature?
That's all I need.
Yep, that there you go. I mean, you can do loads of stuff with that.
I want the question too.
I do too. There was a customizer that I looked at. It was either today or yesterday over on the Facebooks, the book face, and he had done a question figure, and he did use the same buck to make the Crimson Avenger. Do you remember the Crimson Avenger?
Was that along one of the Western?
He was a Golden Age. He was a Golden Age mystery man. He was kind of up the same alley as the Spider and the Shadow and all that. He wore a fedora hat and a three-piece suit, and he had a red mask on, and he had red gloves on, and he was called the Crimson. He had a red cape. And he called himself the Crimson Avenger. He eventually changed his costume to a more superhero-esque costume, but later on. But he started out being just another, shadow knockoff mystery man.
It wasn't like is he from heaven or is he from hell? That damned Pimpernel.
Mike P's channel. All right, that's Master Mike. The 7 Soldiers of Victory. That would be kind of cool. Uncle Sam and not Shadow Woman. What was her name? You remember the 7 Soldiers of Victory? I do.
I do not.
Shining Knight. I think Shining Knight was one of them. Uncle Sam was their leader, and he was Uncle Sam, the Uncle Sam. Yeah. Thank you for shouting out each other's channels, guys. Good deal. Thanks, Joneser, for taking care of that too, man. We don't have Rolando Flores with us today to do it, do we? That's okay. He's probably driving his truck. By the way, speaking of Rolando, check out his Instagram page where he does his toy hunts. Those are cool. Check out my NWO short with, I'm really happy with it. Yeah, we'll check that out, Mike. Sure will. We've had a few super chats that nobody said what they wanted to watch. I'm looking at you, I like salt. So I'm going to go to the video list and pick us out a new a video to watch just for him, since he won't tell us what he wants to watch. So you get to watch what I pick. How's think that'll be all right there, Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me go over here and pick that out. We saw the Wellerman. Hey, All Music Fan 88 likes this one too. We'll play karaoke night. How about that?
Whatever you think, my friend.
All right, guys. We're gonna play some Masters of the Universe karaoke night, guys. Uncle Sam was Freedom Fighters. Okay. Seven Soldiers of Victory were the Crimson Avengers, Star Spangled Kid, Stripesy. Yeah, I remember those two. Vigilante, that would be the original one with the red mask that rode a motorcycle and was a cowboy. Shining Knight, Green Arrow, and Speedy.
Vigilante, I remember.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Jonah Hex.
I liked Jonah Hex too. He wasn't necessarily a good guy or a bad guy. He was just a bounty hunter.
He was a piece of work in some of the books if you read them.
You know who I always thought should have played Jonah Hex if they ever had done it back then was Clint Eastwood.
Oh, that would have been great. I do think in a lot of the times in the 70s comics, they picked up on that and they tried to draw him.
They did. A lot of the storylines were like something that he would have played in or takeoffs of some movies that he had already done. But yeah. Of course, they did an abysmal Jonah Hex movie. Did you see that piece of mess?
I did. It has its moments, but if you really want to see what it could have been, there was a little short they did in one of those cartoons. I think it was Superman versus Black Adam or whatever, or Superman versus Shazam. But there was a little Jonah Hex short in there, which shows you what Jonah Hex done right could have looked like.
I think I've seen that before, and you're absolutely right. And everybody wondered what the deal is with his cheek and his lip there. He was branded by the Indians. They took a tomahawk and they put it in the fire till it was white hot, and they pressed it to his face right there, and it left just a big hole right here in the side of his cheek. That's why you see that one little strip of skin right across there.
Oh, he had a great look. They did a really good series of him from the New 52. It's very underrated. But the New 52, Jonah Hex from issue 1, oh my God, it was so good. And they tied it into modern comics in a way, because they had him fight the Court of Owls in the Wild West, because the Court of Owls were timeless, and they had him in Gotham City when it was first starting out, and it had like oil lanterns, and they even had him meet the guy Amadeus Arkham or Jebediah Arkham or whoever, the old, and that's he's almost wondering if he's insane. It was really well done. It didn't get a lot of love.
What did you think? I don't know if you remember this or not. What did you think of when they threw Jonah Hex into the future? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm not as much of a fan of that, is because I think the more you take him out of a Western, the more you just lose him.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was a mistake to do that, but that they tried to get some more juice out of the character by doing that. I don't know if that worked for him or not.
They did it in the New 52 series. By the time it got to the end and the last couple issues, they had him go to the future and he met Batman and Superman. And what was neat is the one thing I did like about it, when they showed how him adapt to the future, leather jacket, Harley Davidson, freaking, like, it's like, okay, this is exactly what I see he would do if he was there.
Look who just joined us. It's Nightwing. Hey, Nightwing. Good to see you, man.
I do this every time.
There you go. We're getting ready to play some karaoke night for you guys. And I'm going to do that real quick, and we'll figure out what we're going to do from there, because I think the day's just about over. But let's watch the folks sing some karaoke. Jonah Hex was on those CW shows a few times. Yes, he was, wasn't he? In the Arrowverse. Here we go. Karaoke. My dad, Father Pop, was in the Navy, and he fought in WW2. Gojatron says this is like the We Are the World Eternian edition. Mr. Benny says T-Laws is singing food, and Gap After Dark says we're on fire. All right, cool.
Johnny.
Oh, man, it's Johnny Sorensen. You know the latest episode of Hard Shitting Heroes is up, right? Have you seen that yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I need to watch it as soon as I close this video.
Apparently, I killed Hogan, or they think I did anyway.
Spoiler alert. I gotta watch this. I've seen it up, but I haven't had a chance to sit down. It's been a busy week.
If you guys aren't subscribed to Johnny Sorensen and you want to see some hilarious shit, that's where the place to go. How his mind works, I do not know, but the hilarity ensues, and I'm telling you, it's funny as hell.
Yes.
And he is a master of AI.
Yes.
I hope you can protect us from it when it decides to kill us all, Johnny.
Yes.
Yeah, have you seen the debacle that the Google AI went through this last week?
I have not. I think I live a week or two behind the rest of you as far as my news and watching your guys' stuff. And like, if you did a video like a month ago, I just saw it.
I sometimes I'm like that. There are certain channels that I watch that keep me abreast of this kind of crap. Yeah, this week was a doozy. Yeah, apparently the Google AI, they had to kill the ability to make pictures on it because it refused to show white people in any form or fashion on the videos. So if you ask it to show a German soldier circa World War II, black German soldier. I mean, we know there were plenty of divisions of those, right? Show a picture of George Washington. He's black.
Well, it is Black History Month, Bill. So I think the AI saw we must make all history black for Black history.
They had to take it down. Apparently, it wasn't working right.
Or maybe it was working right. It said
it was working the way it was programmed. Let's just put it that way, folks. Garbage in, garbage out. And I'm not saying that showing black people in certain forms of fashion is something bad. It's great. The problem is when you're talking history is a fact, Jack, and you can't change that no matter how much you want to. I welcome our new machine overlords or the giant ants. Both are good. See, that's what I'm talking about. Johnny Sorensen is twisted, just like Gojatron said, kind of like Monty Python. Very funny. Very funny.
What about the lizard men? Where do the lizard men fit into this?
They're in the White House and in Congress right now, Jack. They're lizard people, dude. All of them. Cold-blooded motherfuckers. I have my fans who come here to listen to me say shit like that. I know I do. I also have the people who hate me because I do that, and they hate watch me. And I'm glad you do, motherfucker. Hate watch the hell out of me. Keep my watch hours up. And I don't care if you give me those thumbs down. It don't fucking matter. It's still interaction. I win all the way.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't know the difference. They just see people interacting with it.
It's all that matters. All that matters. I hope everyone had a wonderful week. My week started out good, then it went to shit, and then it got good again. That sounds like most weeks.
That was mine.
Except for the week before last, it was shit all week long.
Right.
Oh, look at all them thumbs ups. Lizard people? Are we talking about Sleeve Stacks or the aliens from V? A combination of both. The aliens from V are more like it because they disguise themselves as humans. You know what V was, Joneser? The mini series and later television series.
You're gonna have to give me a minute here, sir.
All right, you got something. New month should be fun. Keep the warmth coming. Yeah, it is March. I mean, I'm telling you, February and January have just slipped on by, and we're in March. It'll be springtime before we know it. The flowers are going to pop up, and it's going to be warm again, and everybody's going to be happy again. All them lizard folks are equally delicious. All right, Johnny, you're going to eat the lizard people before they eat you. Good. Good deal. Let me see if I can find something to do while Jones is doing that. I got one for you guys. Let's go down here to the videos and pick out something good to watch. Scarborough Fair, just for Radical Mom, should she still be listening. She might be already over there at her son's show. But we did a version of Scarborough Fair for T-La to sing. I think that ought to be fun while Jones is busy. So let's play Scarborough Fair real quick, and then maybe Jones will be back to normal.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. He once was a true love of mine. To make me a cambric shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Without no seams nor needlework, then he'll be a true love of mine.
And AllMusic fan 88 Jeff tells us that songs in minor keys have a meaning. He should know because he's an AllMusic fan.
Yes.
Now, the question I posed to you was, where did they get the idea for the miniseries V?
Buck Rogers? That was a shot in the dark.
I'll give you a hint.
Why do I know that?
There's a signpost ahead you've just now entered.
Oh, the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone.
There was an episode of the Twilight Zone called To Serve Man.
Oh yeah, how to cook men or how to
Yeah, it was the space aliens were benevolent. They came to Earth and they gave us all this different technology and stuff. And now they were going to allow certain individuals to come and visit them on their planet.
Yeah, the Simpsons parodied it on the first Halloween or second Halloween special.
Twilight Zone, says Deborah Poe. She got it. Miss Debbie got it. I am a musician, says all music fan. Do you have some music that you're willing to share with the show and allow me to play? I will be more than happy to put you on the playlist. It's a cookbook. It's a cookbook. Yeah, they had one piece of text, a textbook that they got from the aliens, and they didn't know how to translate their language, but they figured out that what the title of the book was, it was called To Serve Man. And at the very end, they found out it was a cookbook. But it was too late. They were already on the ship, headed to the planet to be served up for dinner.
Yeah, the Simpsons flipped it where it was the humans that were suspicious and the aliens weren't really going to cook them.
But the Twilight Zone had some wonderful episodes. I think my favorite was the one with Burgess Meredith in it. He
broke the glasses in the end.
Yeah.
I finally have the time.
He broke his glasses.
I think the one that I keep going back to is the one where they had the person on the table and the doctors kept talking about, she's hideous. She's so ugly. No one will ever love her. Oh my God. And then you think, oh my God, this woman's got to be terrible. Then you look at the doctors, all got like one eye or whatever was going on.
They were all like, pig faces. They look like orcs.
Yeah, that's right. Pig faces.
Their noses. Yeah,
I remember
beautiful.
The episode was the Eye of the Beholder.
The one with Shatner on the plane with the gremlin. That was a good one, but I'm going to tell you the one that I like better was the one with him and his wife, and they go to the diner, and it's got one of these little fortune-telling things with the little devil on it, and you put the quarter in, it gives you a fortune. And all it was a trap because you kept staying there and you never left because you kept feeding your money in to get your fortune.
Wasn't there one where the guy was you thought he was in outer space and he was in the module, and it turned out it was just a simulation and he was driven crazy sitting in the practice simulator, and they're like, yeah, nobody's ever made it. And he didn't even really go
to a variation of that on Doctor Who one time.
Yeah, that one stuck out to me, because it's like, well, I guess if he believed it, why does it matter if it was real or not real? And in the end of the day, he believed it.
Major Tom really lost in outer space, or did he lose his mind in the space simulator?
Right.
I think they do that out there in Nevada or Arizona. I think it's Arizona desert. They still do that to this very day. They have these domes out there, and they stick people in them to just so they can see what it'd be like to live on Mars. Coulter. Zoltar. That's it. I've got a Zoltar around here somewhere. I got the little mini version of it, and it actually you press it and it tells your fortune. That was in the movie Big. They had a Zoltar fortune teller in that, and that's what he went to become Tom Hanks. What do we have here? The Incredible Hulk fighting the Thing. This is it, Hulk. Your last fight. I think Hulk beat the fuck out of the Thing in that. Did he not?
He beat up the whole Fantastic Four.
Found out just how powerful the Hulk really is.
Yeah. That's on my wish list. I've been trying to get that.
All right. So we found out our news today. We're going to be getting some new figures from Todd McFarlane Toys in the Super Powers line. The big reveal today was they're going to release another Batman figure.
Batman. This is Batman and the Batman Who Laughs.
And they're going to release that Fleischer Superman. Look, one more time, folks. I'm going to play this. I think this is the best Superman opening that there ever was. Jones, or you can tell me yay or nay on that. But I love this Superman opening here. Leave the Hulk alone, bye, stupid men. I agree with Johnny on that one. And there we go. Action Comics #1. I'm holding out for Zebra Batman. Or Rainbow Batman. That could be a 10-pack. We got all the different colored Batman. That was actually in a comic. Do you remember that, Joneser?
I do.
And but this is the Superman. I don't mind them making another Superman if they do this one here.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton. The Man of Steel. Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
And Gojitron says he's holding out for Zebra Batman. And we got Johnny Sorensen saying they did the multi-rainbow individual Batman, but not the multi-rainbow Batman in the Mattel line. I got the pink one. Yeah, there was a pack that was released from DC Direct back in the day that had all the rainbow Batman in it. Do you remember that, Jones? Or
Rainbow, what did it have? Like a pink one, a purple one.
I think the storyline was he had to wear a different color suit every night or some shit.
I always hated that as a kid because, like, I was always one of those that Batman had to look like Batman, right? Superman had to look like Superman. So I go to the store and I see a Batman figure and they got a pink one, a green one, a gold one. I'm like, why isn't there a Batman looking Batman? Since when did they do all these?
Oh, for some reason you just woke a memory up in my twisted mind. All right. You know, I often tell you of comic books that I'm looking forward to and
Yes,
are wanting to get. Here's another one that I would like to get. There was an issue of World's Finest that showed how the Golden Age Superman and Batman first met and became friends, which was different from the way it was portrayed in the Bronze Age. And the storyline that they used for that was the same storyline that was used in the radio serial from back in the day when Batman would guest star on Superman's radio show. Do you remember that?
I do not.
Yeah. Bart Bent. That reminds me of Super Pup. Do you know that after the George Reeves Superman TV show, they were going to do a spinoff called Super Pup? Have you seen that?
I have not.
You're lucky. It exists out there in a form or fashion that you can watch, and it was terrible. And now we know why it never actually made it to television. They made a pilot for it that was never actually shown on television, and it was awful. Terrible. Super Pup. Super Pup is frightening, says Gojitron. Apparently, Gojitron knows what I'm talking about, and he's seen this. They also were going to do a Superboy television show in the same fashion as the George Reeves Superman TV show. That they made one episode of that and never showed it on TV as well. You haven't seen that either, have you?
Superboy?
Yeah, it was a 1950-ish era pilot done in the same fashion as the George Reeves Superman television show.
The only one I saw was the one in the 80s.
John Haynes. Yeah, we talked about him. No, this was back in the day. When the Superman TV series went off the air, they wanted to replace it with something, but they couldn't replace it with George Reeves because he had met his ultimate end because he decided to unalive himself.
Or was he murdered?
Well, we don't know. But let's watch our language here. We can say fuck and all that, but we can't say certain things because it's
really. How come they can have all these like serial killer ones where they do all that and say all that?
I don't know, but I know that they will community strike me if I say certain words on here.
Really?
Underdog and Hong Kong Phooey team up would make a nice one-off comic. I agree with Johnny Sorensen on that one. I assume you've seen the Wonder Woman that they were going to do after Batman 66. Yes, I have. That's pretty freaking bad. Apparently, William Dozer was behind that, and it was pretty awful.
He was also going to do Dick Tracy. He's a good cop.
Yeah, I saw that. That's not too bad. I could deal with Dick Tracy better than the Wonder Woman. All right, Jeff's going to go eat some dessert. And Grape Ape, says Deborah Poe. I remember Grape Ape very well. Well, if everybody's going to be leaving me, then we know what we need to feed, right?
Yes, sir.
It's duck time, folks. Glad you guys were here. Let me shout out the super chatters of the evening. We had the first super chat of the night came from Radical Toys, and then Mr. Poe came in, then Radical Mom, then Miss Debbie. What came a super chat, and then I Like Salt came in with a super chat. Thank you, super chatters of the night. You're my heroes. You're going to get me ever closer to a super computer here for the house. If you say heck, darn, or gosh, you're going to HE double hockey sticks. Good show, says Mr. Benny. Good journey, says Miss Deborah. And the advantage of Lois and Clark Superman, Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher. I actually liked that. I would look forward to seeing that every week. The last season of that sucked balls. I pretended it didn't happen, but the rest of it was pretty good. And Joneser, I told you, I have thrown the gauntlet down. You have to give us a room tour video.
All right, I gotta clean it a little, and then yeah.
Well, I know it's a mess in there because it's also a mailing room as well. And
that's what it needs to be. That's what I need to do today is get my orders out and clean it, and then we can do said video.
All right. Well, I will be back tomorrow night, folks. We're going to try to have a decent show. I think Joneser and I are going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. But anyway. I hope to see you guys with me tomorrow night and Sunday. And in the meantime, everybody have a good journey, and we'll see you next time on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Special thanks to the channel supporters. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like, subscribe, and share the video.